Hello and welcome to round 2 of the Lotus Cup UK here at Donington. Now this circuit is a favourite amongst the Cup UK drivers and of course is going to provide some exciting racing with those Craner curves. The Lotus Cup UK season kicked off a matter of weeks ago with Adam Gore securing his first victory of the season. Newcomer Daniel Rowbottom in production class also left his mark. Now there's a lot that goes on behind the scenes here at Lotus Cup UK and of course the power testing is one of those things. Now the first car up today here at the Lotus Cup UK is car number 51, that's Alex Reid. The reason for this power testing is to make sure that they are all running at the correct power within those regulations. With only one round gone this year, the results at Snetterton mean these are the standings ahead of Donington. Adam Gore won from pole last time and he'll have extra weight added to the car. This is the same for the top 3 in every class, with the winner having 45 kilograms added, second 30 and third 15. Now Adam, just off the back of qualified in second position, I'm assuming that 45 kg obviously weighed you down a little bit.
Yeah, just a bit. I think it was probably worth about 3 or 4 tenths, but Adrian's car's always quick, so yeah, it was a combination.
Okay, so talk us through your qualifying lap.
Yeah, it wasn't too bad. It was a little bit slippy, obviously braking quite late and trying to get the nose into the apex.
Okay, and then round to Craner curves, obviously one of the most famous parts of this circuit, the most enjoyable to drive, but obviously one of the trickiest to drive as well.
Yeah, so it's just a tiny little lift before Craners and then almost flat on a balanced throttle through there.
And then you're picking up some speed moving into McLean's.
Yeah, definitely. That's another tricky one to get it turned in and actually get the apex, but again, just try and scrub a bit of speed and get it slid into the apex.
So through qualifying we saw a wet circuit and a dry circuit. As you move into Coppice, that's where we were seeing a lot of the slippier areas. What was that like?
Yeah, it was definitely a handful.
Okay, and then you move out of Coppice and up into Roberts, getting onto the home straight, really putting your foot down there. You've obviously got a really nice long straight here to pick up some speed.
Yeah, really nice long straight, and then you've got the slight rise, and just as you come over the rise you hit the brakes and then just try and get it into the first apex and straight line it and fire it out.
So obviously learned a lot from qualifying in a new car out here with the heavier weight as well. Are you going to change anything moving into the race?
Yeah, I'm going to try and drive it a little bit smoother. I think I was a bit ragged there.
Now Adrian, you must be happy with that. Obviously qualifying in pole, that's got to feel good.
Yeah, it is, considering we didn't finish at Snetterton. I'm really pleased, especially for the team and that, going home without a result. Coming here and putting it on pole, yeah, really pleased with that. So, you know, it was a good lap. It didn't show the full potential of the car because it rained and we could have gone a bit faster, but yeah, I'm happy with that. It's good.
Okay, so talk us through your lap in qualifying. Obviously, we've seen sort of drier and wetter circuit out there, so that obviously changed the way you drove. But as you start off, going into the first corner, Redgate, what's that like driving into there?
It's a funny old corner. It's quite daunting. It seems to drag you in. It's quite a fast corner, but it tightens up on the exit. I still don't think I've got it quite right, but I've been racing here for Christ knows how long. But yeah, you go through Redgate. It's just one of the corners you just got to find your own way and your best way for you, what suits you.
Okay, and then moving out of Redgate into the Craner curves, obviously one of the most daunting parts of this circuit, one of the most challenging as well, but fantastic to drive through.
It's definitely my favourite corner of all time. For me, in my little car, it's not the powerfulest car in the world, but I absolutely wring its neck. Give it everything it's got. It's 6th gear, as fast as it goes down there. There's not a lot of cars that can live with me down there, so, you know, yeah, I love it, you know. So to go down there absolutely flat out, I think the car's working really, really well. So, yeah, love it.
Accelerating out of Craner's curves into McLean's, that's where you're starting to see the circuit getting slippy today.
Yeah, it is. But again, the car works really well out there. Absolutely as fast as it'll go through there, really. Because the little car, it's not very powerful, but I'm just wringing its neck everywhere.
Okay, so out of McLean's and then into Coppice. Again, that's really slippy down there, down into the dip as well.
Yeah, yeah, it is quite slippery through. I see a few people go off there this morning, so I was like, sort of think, I don't want to go off there. But yeah, the car's working really well up through there, up into Coppice, yeah, really well.
And it's foot flat to the floor, down through Roberts, and you've got a really nice long straight to open it out.
Yeah, and I've got to really maximise that corner. For everything I've got to carry all the speed I can possibly carry because the car's got very good straight line speed. So I've really got to maximise it and then get on the straight and just give it hell for leather down there.
Now, no doubt Adam Gore is going to be putting the pressure on, breathing down your neck every step of the way into the race. So learning anything from qualifying at all?
Yeah, I've learnt that the V6 cars, which Adam's in and the rest of them, are not very good on the corners. But on the straights, that's where I've got to watch out. So I've got to maximise my corner speed, get away from them. Hopefully they can't catch me. So we'll see how it goes in the race.
Daniel just finished qualifying, qualified in second in class. It's pretty good going. Obviously it's rained out there, so it's going to be a little slipperier when you get out there. But Snetterton, you came first in production class, which meant with the new rules that you get 45 kgs of weight. So for the first time out carrying that 45 kgs, going into Craner curves, it must have felt a lot heavier.
Oh, absolutely. It makes the car move around. I guess I should have read the regulations a little bit more closely. I didn't even know there was success ballast until this weekend or last weekend. So, no, it was good. Craners is quite complex anyway. You know, you've got to... I always lift because I think it helps the car turn. Some people do it flat, but I think they're just showing off, to be honest with you. And yeah, with 45 kilos on board, it makes the car move around quite a lot more. Any sort of things that you've learnt in qualifying that you're going to put into practice now for the 60-minute race? Yeah, I mean, we had a lot of understeer, so we're going to change the car around a little bit. The 60 minutes is fun. I haven't raced for a while, and Snetterton was a bit of a workout, so I've been doing a little bit of working out between now and then, so I probably won't be as bad, but yeah, we'll see. It'll be good. Now, Marcus just finished qualifying. Obviously, qualified a little bit more disappointing than you'd have liked.
Yeah.
It was wet and dry out there. What were the problems for you?
Well, the problem was when it's dry and it's going wet, you have to get the qualifying lap in very early. So I got caught up with some of the other cars in class, and although I could go quicker, I drove a little bit too close to them. So what I should have done is space myself out, give myself more time, but I could see the rain coming, so I had to get on with it.
Now, obviously, as far as this goes, this is pretty much an endurance race. You've got 60 minutes of concentration out there. For you personally, where do you find you lose your concentration or you lose your moments in the race?
Yeah, this circuit's really hard on tyres. If it stays dry, the tyres are going to go off pretty quick. You've got the car loaded in high speed for a long time. So the trick is to be patient. I'm not very good at being patient, but the trick really is to probably be patient for the first 5 to 10 laps. You know, get a gap, see where you are, because I think the race will all happen in the last 10 minutes.
So this is how they line up for the Lotus Cup UK Round 2. Ones to look out for in production class are on rows 9 and 10, with teams Radcliffe Dunn and Lemaster Denman looking to catch the winner from Snetterton, Daniel Rowbottom, in row 8. In the Super Sport class, Marcus Jewell starts from the 4th row, with just ahead of him on row 3 the defending champion Adam Knight, who will be hoping to improve on his 2nd place from Snetterton. Ken Savage, who finished 3rd in round 1, starts from the 2nd row, and it appears that the 45 kilogram success ballast hasn't affected Adam Gore too much, as he starts from the front row of the grid, with pole going to Adrian Hall. Now we're getting very close to the start of the race, so let's go and find out how the drivers are feeling ahead of the Lotus Cup UK. Adrian, how are you feeling ahead of the race?
Yeah, all right. It's the weather's changing, obviously, so we're a bit worried about what tyres to go on, but it looks like it's going to be a dry race. So yeah, pretty confident to see how it dries out.
Well, that is, of course, our pole position, Adrian Hall. Now we're walking down the garages, and in the distance there, I can just spot Andrew Bentley. Now, Andrew Bentley is driving in the production class with James Little. So, Andrew, how are you feeling ahead of the race?
Well, I'm pretty confident that we've got a very good car, great teammate, and we've had a good run-up to today. But I think the big concern for everybody is the weather. It's sunny one moment and then pouring it down with rain the next, so it's difficult to know what's going on.
It certainly is difficult to know what's going on. And another man who I just spotted, but I think we've actually lost him. We're going to wonder, and there he is, we found him. Now, Andrew Wright, of course, as well, heading out. Now, the weather ever changing. I can see you out here, holding your finger up, checking where the wind is going. How are you feeling ahead of the race?
Good, yeah, we're P2 in class. Adrian's quite a way ahead of us, but it should be a good race. Obviously, the conditions are changeable, so we've got to make a choice about the tyres in a few minutes, and we'll see how we go. But it's going to be an interesting race, I think.
Now, Ryan, obviously massively disappointing in qualifying. You didn't get to even do a lap. You're carrying extra weight, and now starting from the back of the grid. Obviously feeling a bit apprehensive, but how are you feeling?
It's unfortunate not to qualify, but in free practice this morning, I showed I have the pace. So hopefully I can pick them off and work my way to the top, and then hopefully come back with a podium.
Well, Snetterton obviously proved that you can make that podium. It's a lot of work to do, but do you think you can do it?
Yes, if the car comes back in one piece and doesn't break, then pretty certain I can do it.
Now the cars are lining up for the first time today for the 60-minute Lotus Cup UK race. So let's move out the way and watch the racing.
Round 2 of Lotus Cup UK from a very soggy Donington Park. And a car into the pit lane at the end of the first green flag lap. That's car 51 of Alex Reed. Now I wonder if that's a problem for the driver. The rest of the drivers continue through on their green flag lap. Adrian Hall leads them round behind the safety car from Adam Gore, Adam Ballon and Ken Savage. Class pole in production class went to Luigi Valentino Mazza. And Alex Reed in the pit lane is having his tyres changed. He's rolled the dice and he's going for wet tyres. Now will that be the move that wins him the race, or will that be an uphill struggle for the remainder? Only time will tell. As the cars make their way down the Craner curves, car still in the pit lane having its tyres changed. He's not losing any time at the moment, but obviously as the cars work their way around the circuit here at Donington, then he's going to fall further and further back. But it will have the whole 60-minute race plus the pit stop to make that time back, if the weather manages to stay wet enough for him to make those wet tyres last all the way to the end. As the cars make their way around for the rest of the green flag lap, we see the production runners a bit further down the order. They'll be fighting amongst themselves a bit later on into the race once the race gets going. Cars make their way up to McLean's and on the way up through to Coppice. We're making their way to the back straight. As Alex Reed gets out the pit lane now to retake his position at the back of the field. He hasn't lost any time yet. With the race about to start and get underway though, he'll have an opportunity to catch the back of the pack and minimise the time lost in the pit lane.
Join us in part 2 when the race gets underway and we shall see who has made the right tyre choice.